Hey, there we go. Gosh, it takes so long to actually connect. How you doing? I'm not seeing my own show come up on my iPad. I'm not sure why. Let me try it again. Let me sign out of YouTube. Hello, Jane. Well, I'm trying to connect the show on the iPad, and it's not refreshing. There we go. It was stuck. Takes like a minute just to set the show up now. Let me just get this added in. I hope you're doing well today, Jane. I appreciate you. If you guys are watching on the playback, you can always skip through the first couple seconds of the video just to get to the meat of the video. Oh, no, we're almost there. It's just asking me to set a few things up on the back end. Hey, 5 people here already. Thank you so much. Hope you guys are doing good today. Wow, 2 thumbs up, and we haven't even started yet. That's amazing. I'm just loving this YouTube. I'm loving you guys. I feel like I have a whole new family now. We are going to talk about Nancy Guthrie today. It is day number 67. Let's just give it a few minutes to let some people come in today. Wow, 3 thumbs up. Amazing. I haven't even said anything yet other than welcome. And it's been a crazy 24 hours for me. I'll try to keep it down, as far as the time today. I have a lot of people asking me to come on later, but it's sometimes it's convenient and sometimes it's not. Everybody's got a different schedule. So I think some people are starting to protest, like, hey, you're coming on too darn early. My decaf coffee drink. Yeah, we're actually losing people here. There we go. 6. Come on. Give it up. Up, 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 up. Throw some red hearts at it. Maybe that'll boost the YouTube algorithm. There's not a whole lot of news to report today. Maybe we'll do a little Q&A on Nancy. 8 people. Let's get it going. Thank you for the red hearts. Hey, Leanne. Nice to see you. Yeah, I was at the dentist today, but I saw that you had commented on a lot of the videos that you were rewatching. So thank you, Leanne. Hey, we got 11 people in, so I guess I'll start the show. It's April Davis, PI. I'm here in Los Angeles, California. I'm a licensed private investigator in the state of California. And today is April the 8th, 2026, and it is day number 67 in the Nancy Guthrie missing person case. Yeah, I can't believe that I have to say that it is day number 67. Wow, 18 people. Smash that like button. You wouldn't believe the day I had yesterday. After I did my live yesterday, oh my God, the first one, I had some calls coming in from a fellow investigator that I know in the PI business, and I tried to answer the calls, and I physically couldn't get the button to push. And it wasn't that, my fingers didn't work. Like, I couldn't get the iPhone to answer. And it was an old iPhone 13 that Apple had sent me as a replacement for my previous iPhone 13. The other iPhone 13 had like a shot battery, so they sent me a free one because I pay $11.49 a month for insurance. But I have to say, since I got that replacement about probably less than a year ago, it never really worked right. And I woke up to a black screen yesterday morning, but then I got it to work. Then I couldn't answer the phone, and I thought, you know what? It probably just needs to be shut down and rebooted. And I rebooted, or I tried to reboot, but you can't reboot the phone when you can't turn it off. I couldn't turn the friggin' phone off. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. And I couldn't call for help because none of the buttons would work. So it was just like, ah. So I spent the evening at the mall, and I'm handicapped, so I had to walk quite a ways from that parking lot with a cane all the way to the back of the second floor to the Apple store. But I got a really good person there. And now I am on the new iPhone 17 Pro Max. I did briefly go live last night just to test it out. I still need someone to call me just so I can hear what my ring sounds like. But we won't do that during the show. Hey, Rita. Hey, Serenity. Welcome in. I haven't seen you before, Serenity. Where are you coming in from? So it was quite a night because, with everything that's happened to my health, wonder if there was a medical emergency and there was no way to like call for help. So I realized, like, you know what? I can't fart around with this or dick around, excuse my language. I need to just get it upgraded. And they were willing to pay me $195, a whole whopping $195 on my free replacement phone. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to take that deal. It's not much, but I'm going to take it. And I did get the new phone. So hopefully it has better audio, it has better picture, it definitely has a better camera, but I haven't had a whole lot of time to mess with it because today was the beginning of multiple dental appointments. So now let's get to talk about why I'm here. We're going to talk about Nancy Guthrie. A lot of the people last night were saying, how much do you want to bet something will break while you're in the dental chair? Nothing broke. Uh, I've got Brian Inton on in the background. These reporters out in Tucson, they're running out of people to talk to. Now they're just, talking to the same people that they've talked to and interviewed over and over again because there's absolutely nothing breaking on this case. Let's see. I am new here. I was just scrolling through, just wondering if you have any background noise now. No, I don't. Does anybody else have background noise? I'll check the iPad. I'll check the iPad. No background noise on my end. No background noise on my end. No, let me take. I hate the buttons on the new. So now I still got to pay off the iPad because I had to replace that like a month ago. It just wouldn't work anymore. And now I have a 36-month mortgage on the iPhone. I just hope I live that long. It's like, is there a penalty for paying it off early? Like, okay, what else could happen? This is my birthday week, and I don't want to say that because I don't want to bring bad vibes to myself or negativity. I only think positive things that can happen. I am very happy about the recent monetization of my channel, but now I got to pay off the iPad and the iPhone. Now, of course, there'll be a deduction. So if I become YouTube wealthy, which I don't think so because I don't have enough viewers, at least we won't have to worry about it this year. I'll have enough deductions. Julie Rhodes. Okay, we already read that. Snay or Snedge? Let's just call you Schuler. 161. I don't know what that means. So let's talk about Nancy today. Is there, did anybody here see my video yesterday about the ransom notes that came in from TMZ on Monday? It turned out there was two of them, not one of them. And hey, Jamie James, welcome back. Does anybody think that these most recent ransoms, apparently there's at least 6 of them, where they're asking for the 1 Bitcoin, a half paid now and a half paid later? Do you think there's any legitimacy to those notes? Now, remember, that's not the same writer that wrote the original ransoms that he sent to TMZ. Well, I assume it's a he, and to the local news stations in Tucson. Those notes were asking for 6 million in Bitcoin. This is somebody who's saying they have information and they'll provide the location of the body and the location or the identity of the kidnappers plural, for a half a Bitcoin now, and then after an arrest is made, they will take the other half of the Bitcoin later. I am sus of anybody like that. If you really knew where she was and who did it, why not just call 1-800-CALL FBI or the Pima County Sheriff, or just walk into the station yourself? And, apparently this person is international, but, why F around for a half a Bitcoin when you could just, solve the case and get the reward for $1.2 million. I think one of the people knows something, but it's not being taken seriously. I kind of started to think that way this week, Jamie, and let me tell you why. You guys here, my viewers, kind of urged me back in March to call one of my tips into the FBI, and I did. And I'm sure many of you know about that. It didn't go well. The phone rep, she was very rude. Basically, if you didn't know where the remains were or where Nancy could be found, they weren't going to take your information. And a lot of you guys, even through private emails, and by the way, I lost all this week's emails with the transfer of the two phones. It came up like you have 6,000 emails or something. And I was like, oh my God. So I have lost most of my Gmail. If you sent a message in the past week, I don't have access to be able to read it or copy it. So for anybody who sent messages in the last week, you may want to send me another email. Just saying. But anyway, this guy, I'm assuming that these notes are written by men. I think most of them are ridiculous. I think most of them are fakes. The FBI thought two of them were credible, but I'm beginning to wonder about this one that's saying, "Hey, I'll take a half a Bitcoin now and the other half later." But I think if that person is credible, that they're more involved in this than they're willing to admit, and I think they're getting nervous. If they're not fake, if they're legit, this person is getting nervous and wants to be the first person to roll over. And I think if I were the cops, I would not provide that Bitcoin. Let this person come forward in a different manner. Even Harvey Levin has said, if you have this information, you need to call this tip in, and you can possibly get part of that reward. That's what I would do. Jamie James says, I keep going back and forth with the credibility. Me too. Of course, they are annoyed by armchair detectives. Yes, he talked about their arrogance in those notes. I think the person that abducted her psychologically needs attention. This person doesn't want to be forgotten. It could be if it was a single person, like a just one person abductor, but I think there's more than one person involved. These killers want to be in the spotlight. Could be. But I really don't think that this was done for attention. I think she was specifically targeted for a specific reason. Hey, Kelly, welcome in. Just got back from the appointment. I did see your text this morning, but I was still asleep. Remember there's a 2-hour time difference, and I don't sleep well at night, so I get my best sleep in the morning. My appointment wasn't until the afternoon, so when I woke up and you were like, "Hey, how'd the appointment go?" Like, I was still in bed. But thank you for asking. Um, oh, you're from Belgium. Anne, welcome in. Oh my God, there's another country. I need to keep track of all the countries that are coming in. Watching from Clearwater, Florida. Oh, Clearwater is a beautiful city. Hi, Troy 519. Welcome in. Well, I'll pause talking about Nancy for just a moment. The dentist went fairly well. Surprisingly, my blood pressure was really good, and I hadn't even taken my afternoon pill. Because remember, I have 3 sets of pills now. That's how old I am. Now, the dentist, who is Thai, and he's not a proponent of medication, I think he almost dropped dead when I had to bring in the copy from like the hospital and say, here's the copy, because it would be too much to write down. Just make a photocopy. This is all the new meds I'm on, and this is why I'm on it. And so, even though he wasn't concerned about the hypertension that is okay right now, he was more concerned about the heart arrhythmia, not the surgeries, not the AFib, since I don't have it right now, but he was more concerned that I'm still having missed beats, and there's arrhythmia drugs for that. And, I'm still recovering from the procedures. So he filled out some paperwork, and he wants my cardiologist to give medical clearance just to make sure that when I go to my next appointment, because we are going to replace the filling on this one tooth it's having what's called flash pain. he wants to know which type of local anesthetic to administer because one can, I guess, it can affect the blood pressure and the heart rate, and it can be dangerous with arrhythmias. I mean, I can't even take a vitamin now without a note from a doctor that says you can take this over the counter, literally just for like B12, D3. Like if I wanted to go buy a multivitamin today at CVS, I would have to show all the ingredients before I'd be able to even take an over the counter drug. So just to be on the safe side, we decided to do the cleaning today, which went very well. Caught up my file on all the medical information, but I am going to have to make a quick visit to the cardiologist just to hand them the paper and have it filled out as soon as possible so I can make the next appointment. So if I can't have that drug, then I'll have to have lidocaine, which he said I may have some pain during the procedure because the dose only lasts for like 20 minutes and it doesn't really work if they do it again and again and again. But I really need the more stronger of the two. But that has an epinephrine or something like that in it, and that can possibly cause a problem for somebody like myself. So that's the long version or the short of the long. It's always something. Jet Set. Hello, Jet Set. I'm sorry I didn't see you. Uh, yes, I did discuss the blood thinners. And he said that today's cleaning, that he would just do a regular cleaning. And he said, that my teeth, I keep very good care of my teeth. I brush, multiple times a day, and I floss multiple times a day. Like my teeth were, considering I was overdue for that cleaning. He said my teeth were in like beautiful shape. So now I have the 17 Pro Max because of everything that happened last night. So now there's the iPad payment, there's the iPhone payment. My car insurance came due. I paid 3 ambulance bills and almost a $900 pharmacy bill all within the last few weeks. So I don't know. Maybe when I have my birthday show on Sunday, you know, somebody will say happy birthday and send me a super chat. Maybe Serap will come in. Anything. I don't know. Maybe someone will send me a birthday card that'll have, a $100 bill inside or something. And speaking of that, hey, Land Shark, how you doing, my friend? Kelly, you probably remember Land Shark. He's in the same state you're in. This came to me to the business address that's in the channel description. It was an early birthday card, and it is, here we go. It's got puppies, a puppy and 2 little kitties on it. I love it. I usually don't get cards like anymore at my age. And it says, "Hello, April. Hope your birthday is as special as you are. Happy birthday, the good JR." Remember the good JR investigates that comes in here, or the good JR investigator? And he signed it Travis. Travis? So I hope we're allowed to share this, Travis. And it came with a postcard from the city of Portland, Oregon. I love that. So it's nice to have a friend in Portland. I see we have Jet Set in here from Seattle, so that's cool. Another surprise when I went over to the mailbox, because I wasn't expecting that. I mean, he did message me that he was sending something for my birthday, but my birthday's not until Sunday. And I don't know how many days it sat there because I only go there every 7 to 10 days. For you guys that have been watching me a long time, you know that I've been doing this I call it a beta test with MLB, Major League Baseball. And I even started this before the actual season started, and I had received from 5 teams. And shockingly, there's been, it just kind of dried up for a while, and then I go to my business box, which, by the way, these baseball teams don't have my business address or my business name. Looky here, it's addressed to my business at my business address, and it was a package. We'll go over it like in a long form content, but I got a bunch of stuff in here from the Cincinnati Reds, and I was like, why did they send it to my business address? And here is my self-addressed stamped envelope. I'm not sure why they did that or how they got that. They must have looked me up. Yes, JR, isn't he cool? So this is number 6. I'll check this into my records later tonight. And of course, now that the season has started, all these teams, they're sending like Topps baseball card packets. There's probably, I don't know, 5 or 10 cards in there. Uh, I guess Topps must give those out to like stadiums. And I didn't get those with the first 3, but then they started showing up the Topps cards, and I'm like, oh, these must be provided by, Topps. But they sent some cards. Yep, I got some cards, especially the mascots. That's cool. And a pitcher. I got a Reds 2026 schedule. And what else did they send? Oh, there's a whole bunch of stickers that came. These are cool. I just think this is so cool. All these teams that are sending me these little packages, but how they ended up with the business name, I'm not quite sure. Maybe it was on my letterhead. That could be. But there's only one team thus far, and that was the Chicago White Sox, because they're almost bankrupt, that they used the actual self-addressed stamped envelope. And I spent a lot of money in postage for those self-addressed stamped envelopes, labels, envelopes, postage. And only so far out of the 6 teams, only one. Oh, a gift. Kelly, the sunshine. Well, I'm glad I didn't miss it, because that little icon, it pops up so quick. And it doesn't even tell me, hey, KMG, you did make it to a live. So everybody, I know he's not here right now, but big shout out, in case he's watching later, to the good JR investigator. This is my first card for this birthday month, and it may be the only one, because my ex-boyfriend, even when he wasn't my boyfriend anymore, and I had known him like most of my life, he would always get me cards, not just from him, but he would also get cards for me that were signed from my pets. I even would get presents from my pets that he went out and bought. And he's no longer with us. So yeah, usually I get more Christmas cards than I get birthday cards. But I was super excited when I saw an envelope pop out from the Cincinnati Reds. So thank you, everybody. Okay, back to what we were talking about, these ransoms that came into TMZ on the Nancy Guthrie case. And I'll ask the question again for those that just came in. Do you think that not the original ransom writer that was asking for the 6 million in Bitcoin, but the subsequent notes, and apparently there's at least 6 of them. These are the ones that Harvey Levin of TMZ said he would never talk about again, and then he keeps talking about it. But I'm not going to talk about it again, and then he keeps talking about it, because the day Savannah went back to work this past Monday, the day after Easter, 2 more of these letters came in demanding a half a Bitcoin now, you know, saying that she has passed. Uh, oh, is that a second one? Oh my gosh, here we go. Now, what it says on my screen, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says $0 with the super chat symbol, and then it says there's like a little ruby there. It looks like a gemstone, but it's a ruby. And for every like so many like jewels that you guys send, I think 100 jewels equals 1 ruby, something like that. So I think they're worth a penny a piece. So if I have 200, does that mean I have $2? I'm not sure. We'll find out when I get my next payment, or my first payment. And speaking of that, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm going to get my first royalties check since remonetization on May 21st. I won't get it for April 21st because I didn't get remonetized till the very, very, very end of March. There was only a few days worth of payments there, and it didn't add up to squat. So they can't even make a payment for anything under $100. So I will be getting my first payment May 21st, and we'll get back to that when that happens. Hey, Matthew Tupper, where are you coming in from? I'm here talking about the Nancy Guthrie missing person case. She is the mother, 84-year-old mother of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie. I personally don't think that Nancy's with us. I think we lost her the week of the crime. It is day number 67. I still think they can never give up on her, since they don't have they don't have anything that proves that she is deceased or that she's living. And I just think based on her age and her health and her pacemaker and not having her meds, she's probably been gone from very early on. But let's get this solved. I have called the FBI a second time, and I swear to God, if I have to go beat down Savannah's door or hire someone to do it, if they end up solving this case and this one suspect that I've called in not once but twice, and it's someone who's kind of in the background of this case. It's not any of the prominent people that we're talking about. I think that he is involved. Now, I don't think he's the only one. So I'm not ruling out other people that are on the suspect list because I think he's working for somebody. But there are certain things that has come out that he has said in the past that semi match up with these most recent ransoms. That's just setting off the alarm bells. Like, oh, I think that person said too much and they misspoke because something similar was said before from another source. And I'm like, am I just, is it coincidences? Remember, I'm a PI. PIs, when you're a veteran PI like myself, I've been an investigator professional for 42 years. Coincidences mean something. Hey, Kathy. What is Section 2, Article 4? None of your business. Let me know. So here we are, day number 67. Let's put it out to the chat. Hey, everybody, we got 19 people in here. Can you smash that like button? Send me the red hearts. Let me know, do you think that this case will be solved? Hello, Rita. I wish I could tell you guys what I've discussed with the FBI. I really do, but I can't compromise an active kidnapping slash, probable homicide investigation. And I would never call anybody out on this channel anyway, because remember, everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Even if someone is arrested, in this case, they are still innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And I think if this one person will just come forward, they're going to get the sweetest deal out of everybody that's involved. And if this person is watching this right now, beg you, I beg you to come forward to the FBI and let them know what you know. Hey, Jay, welcome in. Yes, I agree. That's very accurate, Jamie. Jamie says there are so many missing people all over the world, but these circumstances are quite different. Yes, they are, especially for an alleged kidnapping for ransom. And the doors being propped open. It's almost as if the scene was staged. Most likely, Matthew, but we don't have the proof of that yet. And until you have proof, we must keep looking. It's very disturbing to me that there's basically been no boots on the ground. There's been no cadaver dogs. There were dogs that were there, the first night that were assisting from Border Patrol, but they were scent type of dogs they were like bloodhounds, and they were, looking around the front where the blood was, but they didn't get a hit past that front door, past that front porch. They didn't get a hit. But why haven't like cadaver dogs been brought in? Why don't, I know the desert is huge, but most people that are either unalived or kidnapped are found within a 5-mile radius of where the crime took place. That I know that's a lot to cover, but there's been groups from out of state that have agreed to come into Arizona and do these searches, be the boots on the ground, and they were turned away by the Pima County Sheriff. Says, you need a permit, and if you trespass on private property, you're going to get arrested or cited. Like, come on. Yeah, so Matthew, I don't know, but I think that she is, and I think that she went the first week, especially if we can believe the one bit ransom guy that's been demanding the one Bitcoin. and in halves, saying that time was of the essence. And then apparently the very next note, he said time is no longer of the essence. And if you were a scammer and you were just trying to get money and it was all fake, why would you reveal your poker hand and say time is no longer of the essence? As if she has already died, but I can tell you where she is. And this person said she was in the state of Sonora, Mexico, or as the Spanish would say, Mexico. Okay, Sonora, Mexico. I don't speak good Spanish, a little bit because I am an Angelino, and I did take a little Spanish in high school. Kathy says you think you had a flu bug. Oh, Jay says bloodhounds and bassets have the best noses in the world. Yeah, but are they trained to be cadaver dogs? That's a different type of training, I believe. Like, I don't think there's been any cadaver dogs. And the bloodhounds, they didn't pick up on anything. It was just like there was the scent at the door, and then it was just gone. Well, how'd they take her out? Why were the back doors propped open? And remember, in the beginning of this case, they said there was forced entry, but yet there's been nobody that's been able to confirm that there was forced entry. And they think somebody walked through the back gate. Well, how did they get through the gate? Was the gate unlocked? Did they have to take bolt cutters and cut a lock? Like, how did they just walk in through the back gate? Could someone had already been in the house before she even got home that evening? And they were lying in wait. But see, that doesn't add up with the guy at the front door that came after midnight. And when the Google was able to secure that Nest footage, even though the Nest camera, the doorbell camera, the Nest camera was gone, took about a week to get that footage, and they were able to get a time. And they also, 41 minutes later, they had the pacemaker stop syncing with her Apple devices that were left in the house. Apple Watch, her cell phone, whatever type of cell phone she had. I presume it was Apple, but it may not have been. But her pacemaker stopped syncing, and if she walked probably more than 30 feet from those devices, it would stop syncing. So that means that whoever did this, and I think there's more than one, uh, they were in the house at least 41 minutes. Kidnappers don't do that. Also, the house was found in immaculate condition. It's not a burglary. It's not a robbery. Burglars don't bring full backpacks to crimes. Burglars mostly commit burglaries during the day. And then people were talking about the South American gang from Brazil or someplace. Like, they wouldn't do it in the middle of the night. If they were going to do that, they would do it in the day. And they would come with empty bags. They did scope her house prior, Jamie. They did. We think that they did. Well, especially because the what appeared to be the same man came on another night. It was definitely another night because the night of the crime there was the full moon, and they think that that other night may have been around possibly January the 11th. And neighbors saw a white van for days just sitting on her street, which is it's just very odd. Trisha, welcome in, my friend. Oh, I don't talk about personal stuff here, Chester. Unless you want to, go back to the beginning and hear all about my fun dentist appointment and my trip I had to go to a mall. I can't remember with everything that's happened to my health since before 2019. Like, have I ever even been to a mall since 2019? I had to go to a mall to go to the Apple store. I think I did once to get the 13. And it was during the pandemic. And I couldn't even go into the store to pick up my phone. They just did everything outside the door. And then they were like, okay, now come in for a few minutes. And then gone, gone, gone. It was like, it was weird. It was like the apocalypse was happening. Was the guy masked up both times? Yes. But the first time he didn't have the backpack and he didn't have a weapon. Hey, Lorraine McMillan. Let's see, can I speak today? Lorraine McMillan, where are you coming in from? I know. And I had to go during LA rush hour because a PI, and it was important, was calling me on something important that I cannot discuss here. And I was able to text and say, I can't pick up the phone. Like, no, not that I can't answer. Like, I literally physically, I can't answer the phone. Like, there's something wrong with my phone. And then I texted him again from the Apple store and said, I'm at the Apple store. And it wasn't until I got out into the parking lot. And I had also just ordered dinner. I haven't done that in like a month. I had ordered dinner and I had to grab it at the door, throw it on the floor of my car, not even eat it, and just go through the rush hour traffic. They were having a blood drive at that mall, so there was all kinds of like, people saying no, you can't park here, and there was cones laid out, and I had to go all the way around to go to the back ramp, then walk, like a half a mile with a cane. Like I hope I don't collapse on the floor just getting there. I did have to sit down. They have those tables at the Apple store. I'm like, I'm gonna have to sit down, but it did get taken care of. But now I have payments on the iPad, and now I have to pay off everything that happened at the phone store last night. And part of it you can't put on the payment plan. Part of it, like the deposit and all the gear that you need to make the phone work, and the activation. That's something you have to pay up front. So it cost me over $300 up front last night. By the time I ordered the car charger from Amazon and got the parts that I needed from Apple. And I still think I need one more case. And then I have about, I think it's close to $1,000 that I'm going to have to pay off over 36 months. And that's really pushing it for somebody like myself with all my health problems. um, all malls are empty in LA as they are in Indiana. No, the mall was very, very full last night. I couldn't believe it. It was packed. Oh, I didn't even see that. Thank you. Jamie says, I don't like being around large crowds in a building. I don't mind crowds, but I don't want to be near them. I had to wear my mask. I had my Dodger face mask on. So there I am with my purse and my cane and my face mask. Uh, haven't been to LA in 30 years. I was surprised. It was really crowded. I think a lot of people were there to be in the eatery to have dinner because they have some good restaurants there. Lorraine, she says she's from Delaware. Delaware's cool. I used to travel through it between Maryland and New Jersey quite a bit. Nice state. They got some nice beaches there too. Yeah, the guy, the mask guy, yeah, I answered that question. He was there both times. And some people don't know if it's the same guy. I think it's the same guy. But I think he was coming in through the front and then somebody else came in through the back and they opened the door because there was no damage to that security screen that's over her front door. And he's the one that took the Nest camera with him, but he didn't take the frame that the Nest camera sits on, which I thought was so odd. And apparently, the CSI people from the Pima County Sheriffs, they didn't take it either. Just like they didn't take the doormat where all the blood and the plant that the guy had in his hand that he was like scrubbing. And they said they think maybe he was trying to use like a branch from that to like what? Who does that? This there's never been a crime that's been recorded on Earth where someone has taken dried desert scrub or shrub and went like this against a doorbell cam. That's just it's impossible. Uh, oh, I didn't even see the typo. No problem. Happy birthday month. Thank you. This is a crazy case. There's Lorraine, there's nothing about this that's normal. I'm still not even convinced that it's a real kidnapping. I thought of that, KMG. That's a good comment. Maybe they wanted something specific that she had or that one of her kids had stored at the house. I thought about that. Was there something in a computer or was there a safe that they needed to get into? And apparently they didn't rummage through things because every room was immaculate. That just doesn't even make sense. It was like they weren't even at the house, but they were. And all the lights had been left on and the back door had been propped open, apparently two of them, with the very heavy potted plants that were out on the back patio. Can you just break into someone's home without checking the area or inside? I think these people were already in her home. That home is huge. That's a possibility that they came when she was over at Annie and Tommaso's for dinner. But the problem with that is that the front door guy, and he was doing some of the advanced, work on that case. He didn't come until, like the middle of the night. The guy that was the masked man, also known as front porch man, the guy with the effeminate looking brows. Oregon Pride Walk. Hey, I wanted to check in. I love you, but I got to watch the breaking news in your area in Los Angeles all over the television, especially in your station. They have a high speed chase, and now there's um you know what? We have high speed chases every day. It's you got to think about that when you drive in LA. Keep your windows cracked. I learned that from going out on police ride-alongs in metro area DC. Like keep your windows cracked because you got to be. Usually you'll hear it because you'll hear the helicopters coming, but it's kind of hard when you're driving because you don't want to get T-boned in an intersection and killed over a high-speed chase. Um, yeah, what news station is it on? I don't have like CNN. I don't have any cable. It might be on some of the local news channels. Now we've got a standoff. Well, let me go to. I got the tube on. There's Brian Ninton in the background, but I can't turn up the volume. Okay, it says wild chase ends a dramatic crash into a wall in Harupa Valley. Okay, that's nowhere near Los Angeles. Oh wow, there's no front of that car anymore. It's gone. And I see a sheriff like a SWAT van, like an armored truck. Oh, they're coming out a hatch, like a submarine hatch, on top of the sheriff's. They got the big like four-wheel drive tires, the mud tires, and there's a hatch like you would see in a submarine. And somebody just popped the lid, and it's painted in army green. And the whole front end, it's a white car. I can't tell what kind with window tint, and it looks like the hood and the trunk doesn't, or the hood and the engine doesn't exist anymore. It's all crushed. Well, that bad guy may not have his life anymore. Is it a man or a woman? Oregon, do you know? Oregon says you're watching it on YouTube right now. Yeah, let me turn down the volume because I don't want to get like demonetized. Yeah, his windows all smashed. Let's see. They're going to do the replay. Oh, they did a pit. And he went right into a concrete wall. Good pit maneuver. Those are hard. You got to be really skilled to do it. Yeah. Good job. Yeah, his day is done. Oh, and I do see some movement in there. So I guess they weren't killed on impact. I don't know about now. Yeah, and this guy, this sheriff, he's got he tried to he has some sort of device on the front of his car that pushed him over. Wow. Thanks for letting me know, Oregon Pride. Mm, let's see. We got off topic for a second. That's Harupa Valley. That's out in Riverside County. That's way out there. It's out near Hemet. Yeah, it's every day in Southern California. Remember, like just LA County alone, we have 12 million people. Yeah, back to Nancy. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about? Do you think there was already one of the intruders in the house before she even arrived home? I still think it's suspicious that, Tomato dropped her off at the garage and it only took 2 minutes for someone who was supposedly highly disabled. Lorraine says she thinks she's alive. Oh, sometimes they send in the canine. Yeah, sometimes they do. But right now they've got the sheriff SWAT man that I swear to God, it's like a submarine hatch just open. I've never seen that before. Kelly says, I think she is gone. Oh, I think so too. But when you don't have any proof of that, oh my God. Kelly, I don't know if you know Sarap. This is our new friend from Tel Aviv. You have no idea what happened to me last night, Sarap. I had to make an emergency phone replacement, and it was expensive. And then I went to the dentist. So these are very much appreciated, Sarap. Thank you, sir. And I know you've already sent a birthday gift. Thank you so much. Sarap! Coming through! All you guys watching, make sure you hit that little like button on Sarap's super chats. Make sure you get the thumbs up button on my channel too. JetSep, I don't think the 2 minute is suspicious because they could pull right up to that garage door, hit the clicker, and she could go to that very short distance inside. That's part's not suspicious to me. I don't know. It just takes a while to get out of a car though when you've got a cane or a walker. But then there's a woman who knows her from the church services who says she's not as disabled as they claim. But Savannah said most days she couldn't even walk to the mailbox. And they claimed that's when they knew the cameras weren't working because they knew she didn't pay for the subscription. I don't know if the kidnappers knew that or not. Something seems wrong on your end. What's wrong, Kelly? At April Day, okay, Kathy, let me see this. Your phone call may have worked. The morning I heard a tip has them reeling. Well, the first lady didn't take me seriously, but if it weren't for you guys, I would have never called the FBI back, and I would have never spoken to the kind gentleman that I spoke to in the National Call Center. But it's he's not. He's just a hired person in the call center. He is not actually an agent of the FBI. And I, you know what? The longer it goes that I don't hear from an agent in the FBI, tells me they're either not taking it seriously or they already have that information. And I hope they do, because if it is this guy, I've been on this since February 13th. I mean, I should have called sooner, but because I'm not working the case and I only have a few pieces of a 500-piece puzzle and I'm only hearing what the media is hearing, and a lot of this information has to be verified, confirmed, unconfirmed, not verifiable. Is this viable tip? Is this a viable clue? There's just, oh my God, Sarah. Oh, I didn't even notice that, Sarah. Thank you, sir. Let's see. And I like to set it for the lowest because I know some people don't have. Uh, Thank you. You're an expert at this. You guys are better. Without my people here, I would be lost. I'll reset that. Thank you. Did it expire or did we meet it? I don't think we met it. Did we meet it? I think you can still send even without the goal. If anybody, does anybody know that? I think Trisha told me like even after the goal expires, they can still be sent. I hope so. I hope I'm not like shooting myself in the foot by letting the goal expire. No, I got your first one. Did you send more? I know you sent the 2 sunshines, the gifts, and you sent the $1.99. Is there another one? You think your messages aren't going through? Yeah, no, I did see a super chat. Oh, Sarah! Oh my God. Yeah, I have a 36 month mortgage now. I have a 6-month mortgage on the iPad, which I have to use with this and with Whatnot. By the way, if you're not signed up to my Whatnot, go to my links on my homepage of my channel. Go under description, under my bio. Sign up to Whatnot. If you're not signed up, they'll give you $15 to spend. And you can choose to use it in my store or anybody else. But it would sure help me out. Stop! You guys make sure you're clicking that like button on Serap and also on Kelly's the super chat. You might just have to scroll through the chat. Mm. Yeah, I got the first one. I gave you a high porn. I did get it. Remember you said that you had a typo or something that is for my birthday month? Oh my God. What's going on? What? What? Oh my God, a double. Kelly, Serap. Chat, we will reach the goal. Yeah, you know what? Between 3 ambulance bills, hospital emergency room bills, was it $800 for the pharmacy out of the 2,100 that I will owe as my copay? Then my car insurance, my iPad. I had that accident with my other phone where I lost my mics or my receivers. Oh my God. The good JR. Hey, buddy. Everybody say hello to the good JR. I showed your card. I hope that was okay. And thank you for the postcard too. I will show it on the birthday show. Presumably, I will have a birthday show sometime on Sunday. So here it is. It's the only birthday card I have. And I do have some donations that came in and every just you guys coming in and just watching my videos is enough. But thank you to the good JR. Everybody give him a thank you. Yeah, you watch the beginning of this video and you'll see it. What the heck is this? It's red. It's actually fuchsia. Oh my God. Dude. Dude. Did you I think you weren't here earlier, Sarap, when I said that, my remonetization happened at the very, very end of March. Oh, Kelly, stop it. You guys, my buddy's going, ah. um, what was I going to say? You missed me saying something at the beginning, and then I saw Kelly's, and it just threw me totally off. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Because the remonetization came at the very end of March, and it was just a couple of days. It was like less than a week before the end of the month. You have to make at least $100 every month, or you don't get paid. So what they do is they take the prior month's balance and they carry it over, and then they're another month behind to pay. So, like if I made money in March, the earliest I would see that is April 21st if it has $100 minimum. But it was only a couple days worth. And so all those views that I got for this Nancy Guthrie coverage didn't count for anything other than it helped me build my hours back. So it did count because without my hours being built up, I wouldn't have been able to get the remonetization. But I will not see a royalties check until May 21st. So let's see how I can get this because I owe a 36-month mortgage to Apple for the phone replacement, but I should have better sound and better video quality. I still need a case over the case because I don't want it to get like damaged in my purse. Gonna have to get the bunny earmuffs. Absolutely. And she has very large ears. Oh my God. You got Kelly, you're like me. You you don't need to do this. If you guys can't afford to do this, don't do this. I'm not going to tell you where to spend your money, but wow. Everybody give a thumbs up on Kelly's super chats. Let me go back to Sarap. I don't even know. What is 179.90 new Israeli shekels? I don't even know how much that is. We'll figure it out. I'm going back and I'm thumbs upping. That's why the camera's moving. I'm sorry. Let me hold it with the back of the camera with my hand. I just need to give everybody a thumbs up. I gave the hearts, but I also want to give a thumbs up because I think it helps the algorithm. Okay, now let me go down to the bottom. Did you hear that they interviewed a man that knows Nancy? Am I understanding this guy went to the church that she used to go to? Did you hear that they interviewed a man? I heard that they interviewed someone that goes to the meetings at the lady's house, and it was a woman who said that she wasn't as disabled as the media is making her sound to be. But Savannah said most days, because of her back pain, she couldn't even walk from the front door to the mailbox. Okay, somebody on YouTube interviewed some man that knows Nancy, and I think he goes to the church that she used to go to, and he claims if somebody that knows Nancy had been in her house. Is that my biggest, Trisha? Trisha, I don't know what I would do without you. I don't know what I would do without you. Kelly, you have to stop it. Thank you, love. Oh, thank you for, you know what? I didn't even notice that, Trisha, that somebody was taking. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, before that, 2220 was the largest single. Yes. But that same day that I got that, Kathy had given 3 donations that were like 25 bucks. So even though they were in separate ones, that was like, but in a single, yes, that's a wrap. That the new Israeli shekel. 2 more donations needed. Oh my God. Yeah, but you know when you go buy the phone and they do charge 0%, so there's no charge on the financing, but it'll make my monthly Verizon bill or Apple, no, Verizon, it'll go up significantly even though I bought the phone at Apple. I still had to You have to pay the deposit, like the activation, you have to pay the sales tax, which in where I bought it is 9.5%. Had I gone to another city, it could have been into the tens. It's either 9.5 or 9.75 now. I'll have to check because it goes up all the time. So you have to pay the sales tax, you have to pay the activation fee. I had to get the screen protector. The mag case that I had for my 13, it's a different size and it was broken anyway. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need a new mag case. And I noticed that they're like, oh well, your plug just magnetizes to the back of your phone, and I'm like, yeah, but I still need like the Apple case, so it looks like the old mag case, but it doesn't have the circle on the back. The charger, it just automatically with a magnet, it snaps into the phone. But guess what? Everything is USB C, and everything I had before was USB A. So that means new charging cord, new mag charger. Because if I just plug in the charger at the bottom, I won't be able to put the microphones on. And I had just bought the new adapters when I had the cell phone crash onto the floor, and I bent my adapter and I broke my receiver. So yeah, like I was hoping that with my first check, I'll get an upgraded microphone. I didn't expect to have all this other debt accumulate. So thank you so much, you guys. Don't make me cry. But I am going to go live on Sunday. I just don't know what time. We're supposed to have like winter weather come into LA, which is shocking for this time of year. Although I do remember several years ago, since I've lived in this unit, that there was snow within 30 minutes of me on April 12th. It's very rare. It used to be like beach days for my birthday, but no, it's going to be cold. It's going to start raining like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I think most of the rain's going to come in the middle of the night, and some of my Thai family is working that day. So I don't know. I'm kind of doubting that they're going to be able to come. So if they can't come, I will go on earlier. But it got all the super chats, the little the gifts with those little icons, and the birthday card, and Sarap. Thank you for that private PayPal donation that you sent the first night you came into my channel. Like, it's really going to help with it's keeping me sane. And the dentist, he's really good and he doesn't charge a whole lot, but I did pay for the cleaning today. I will have to go to the cardiologist tomorrow and get the clearance to be able to have the Novocaine because of the arrhythmia drugs. And he already gave me a quote on the filling, and he said that should help for now, but there is a very, very slight crack at the top. And depending on how far it goes down, he said I might actually need what's called a dental CT scan. And I've already had too many of those as far as CT scans, but he's like, I may have to send you for a dental CT scan to see how deep it goes, because if it's too deep, then I will need a root canal. And to do the work on this side, he gave me an estimate of about $1,800. And I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. Like, do I have to do this now? He's like, no, but it will help you on this side to get this fixed. So it is what it is. Oh, I missed that. I totally missed it on the screen. It says Kelly sent a gold coin. I totally missed that. I am so sorry. And I hope for those that are sending the gifts that those are free. Thank you. Thank you. Trisha, thank you so much. Yeah, JR, that was a good question. Or I saw the guys, it looked like a man with like a bald head or something. I saw like a head move, but he may have since passed on. But right after the crash, I did see some movement in the front seat. But it could also be somebody, collapsing and falling over. I see that the airbag's deployed. And I really like that sheriff's vehicle. I wonder if that's Harupa Valley or if that's Riverside. No, that would be Riverside County Sheriff. It does say sheriff, but it's got the hatch at the top. Kathy, who got the gift? Oh, Jay. Congratulations, Jay. Thank you, Kathy. You know what? It all adds up. Thank you for sending the gift membership, Kathy. Yeah, and when you send those, they just like when I send them too, the computer just does it randomly. Oh, and I just heard my YouTube counter go ding ding. Did you hear that? Oh my God. Thank you so much. That means we have like 6 paid members right now. Now it looks like this car that crashed, it looks like a fire starting. Oh boy. Looks like the engine's starting to smoke. They didn't hit it with a tear bag. God, the whole front end is gone. But I did see like a head move. Oh, that's amazing, Kathy. Thank you. Well, welcome to channel membership, Jay. Yes, this dentist, he's very reasonable. But he had got rid of all of his staff, and his sister's on a 3-week trip back to the home country. So, he was trying to handle everything by himself, which was a little annoying to me because, there should at least be somebody there at the front desk answering the phones and taking care of the walk-ins. You may not get a check for your birthday, April, but you're getting a ton of love. Exactly, Trisha. No, thank you, Kathy. Yeah, the cleaning was only $125, and he did a terrific job. And it wasn't done by like a dental hygienist; it was done by an actual dentist. But he said not to worry about the blood thinner. He was just going to do a regular cleaning, and I didn't need a deep clean. That would have been a little bit more challenging. Jay, you can go in and it'll tell you what the benefits are. There's 2 levels to channel membership. I think if you click the membership tab, it tells you like what the benefits are. And basically, when you're gifted a membership, it means that it's free for the first month, and then you're not charged anything. It's free to you because it was a gift. Oh, you get to be Green Jay, and if April makes member-only content, you will be able to get that first. Yes. I haven't had a plan for that yet because I only had one membership, and I'm like, I can't make a video just for one person. And then there's the first level is like $4.99, and then the next level is $9.99. And now I think I have enough that I could set up my third level, and it comes with 4 customized emojis. So, like, you can use your customized emojis in the chat, but I have to create those myself. So there's me, there's the lady detective, there's my cat, the calico cat, Kelsa, and there's also Amelia, the bunny, and then there's like a smiley face or something. So you get the emojis, and I can do like private videos that just go for the memberships. We'll see how I work that out. And then I think on the second level, I let you into my social media, like if you choose to do so. And I'd already let some of you guys in, but now it's part of my membership. So if you want to go to my private social media, um, you know, just let me know. Like, hey, I signed up for that, and then I'll make sure that you're connected. I'll tell you where to like send the request. Um, Hello, Tess. Where are you coming in from? Haven't seen you before. I love tacos. Me too. Kelly, stop it. Oh my God. Everybody give Kelly a like on that super chat. You know what's surprising though? Is since I got monetized, and I'll tell you right here, because I don't think she would mind me confirming who she is, but when you guys are watching the lives on replay, or you're watching a long form content video, I'm not live or I'm not in a premiere. You're watching it later. There is a way that you can send a super thanks, which is basically the same as a super chat, but it's just not live. And I've only received one, and it was from my good friend Kelly. So you're at the top of the list because you're the only one on that list. So, and they used to have something called super stickers, but those have been replaced on Vertical Lives by the jewels that you guys are sending. Yeah, I saw that, JR. That car is totally destroyed. Yeah, that's typical though, because I don't know what he was wanted for, and he could be armed. They may know who it is, and they may be worried about a weapon. So, does he bleed to death, hemorrhage? That's the risk he took by doing something stupid and running from the police. Never run from the police, people. Always pull over. Kathy says one more to go. Yeah, you know what? I want to know more about my friend Sarap. Sarap, send me an email. Let me know more about you, sir. We know that Sarap is a male in Israel. We know that. Oh, this is somebody's house. I didn't really. Oh yeah, he did crash into a house, but I think that concrete wall kind of saved the house. They said it sounded like an explosion hit like a freight train. Absolutely. They have to get a code 4. True. All is okay from police before EMTs can assist person. Yeah, that person is still barricaded in the car. Remember the biggest bank robbery of all time that happened in my area, the NoHo bank robbery. And one guy was, wounded, and the police could not call for help at that moment because there was still another one walking around, and they had like automatic weapons. And so the cops just had their literally the boot on the guy's back holding him down, and it was too late. Thank you, Tricia. So true. She says, "Well, Sarap, you have been nothing but a gentleman and a joy." Absolutely. It's mind-blowing to me. And I do have a lot of repeats. I know Kelly, she sent me a lot, and all you guys, Kathy, um, Jay. I mean, I'd have to go through the list, but that's going to make the difference because I'm not getting the watch hours yet that I'm going to need. Yes, it didn't go so well today, JR. And most of it, of course, I missed. I was in the dentist. Remember that first one in Toronto was really important, and then all this stuff happened, and I didn't get to see much of it. And then, some important stuff came in on the email that I had to handle. And then the second one, I was like, I'm going off the air. I'm watching this no matter what. And you can watch yesterday's live and see me say, you can hear me say that. And during that game, these PI calls started coming in, and I literally physically couldn't get the button. When you hit the green button on an iPhone to answer and say hello, nothing would work. I couldn't even reset the phone or reboot it. And I was just like, oh my God. And I had just ordered something to eat, which I hardly ever do. I had just ordered something, and I had to actually sit here and wait for it to come so I could grab it, throw it on the front seat of my car, down on the floor, and drive in LA rush hour traffic where there's always like 300 people in the Apple store. And they were like, well, yeah, you can call the insurance, but you have to do that online. And then you'll have to wait, and then they have to ship it to you. And I'm like, no, I need to talk to somebody on the phone right now. Like, please. And they're like, well, do you have an appointment, ma'am? And I'm like, oh my God. And then somebody else came in right behind me and picked the same guy. And he was like, why don't we all go sit at the table and I'll help both of you at the same time? And it worked out. But I'm still like every time I try to open an app, it either needs the passcode or it needs the two-part verification, or no, you didn't sign up this way before. We already found April Davis in the system, but you're not her. And I'm like, oh, but it's me. Like, so I was up till 2 a.m. just trying to like update everything. You wish I had an Amazon wish list. That's a good idea, Trisha. That's an excellent idea. I'll have to look into that. Don't have the wish list, but feel free to, if anybody has an old Amazon gift card laying around, I use them every single day. JR investigator. Yeah, that friend of Nancy's, he said he knows for sure it's someone that knows her and that he's been in the house before many times. Whoever was in that house, I believe has been in that house before because no kidnapper, and I'm not even convinced 100% that this is a kidnapping for a ransom. Whoever was in that house was very, very comfortable. They knew where the doors were. They knew how to get through the back gate. There's still a question as if to was there forced entry in the back or there wasn't. There was no damage to that front security gate across the front door. So I think somebody was already in the back and they came in and opened up the door for the guy in the front, masked man. And he said he was aware that she had those cameras and the subscription, she didn't have the subscription. And she kept saying, well, I don't want to pay for it. And he said, why? Well, why have the cameras? My point exactly. Now, I don't know what she did or didn't say or what she knew that she needed to have. It's like having a load or having a firearm and having no ammunition. Doesn't help. It actually puts you at more risk to have an unloaded weapon. You don't want to threaten somebody, put a weapon in their face, and it's not loaded. Having a doorbell with no subscription, I have a neighbor like that. And she's just too cheap to pay for it. But she realizes that she needs it, but she doesn't want to pay for it. So she's like, "Hey, did your doorbell cam?" And I'm just like, "Well, let me take a look." But if they didn't walk by my door, it's not going to show it. I am reading this article that says yesterday they had a massive mansion fire in Beverly Crest. Yeah, I know exactly where it is. I've worked there before. It was the Magic Castle. And I didn't work there as a magician. Um, I do have a little magic in my background from when I was 6 years old. But no, it was at the very infamous Magic Castle. And I've actually, many moons ago, did some investigations over there. So I've been there. That's a very historic mansion. It's in the Hollywood Hills, just up above the Laurel Canyon area. A lot of people think just having a sign in the yard that says security will be enough to deter people. In some cases, yes. It deters people if you have your doors locked rather than unlocked. But if somebody wants to get you, they're going to get in. Baby, and I have a neighbor like that too. Cry me a river. And I don't mean that towards you. I mean that towards the neighbor. Like, I am on disability. I can't have my six-figure business anymore because I'm just too busy going in and out of surgeries. I had to explain to the dentist today that since I had last seen him, I'd been in the hospital 17 times. I wasn't even in the hospital when I had one white blood cell left in my body from cancer treatment. I managed to stay out of the hospital 17 times for heart related problems that are side effects. And then he looks at my list and like, oh boy, and I knew what he was thinking. Like, yeah, well, I said, I'm doing well. And then I thought my BP would be a little high, but he didn't take it right away. He didn't even tell me that he was, but I knew he would. And it actually was like, it was perfect, even though I hadn't taken my afternoon pill yet. And the alarm was going off while I was in the chair. And I'm like, it's okay. Let me just turn off the alarm, but let's keep going. I can take it after when we're done. My apartment has Ring doorbell and security built in. It should. She had no fence or gate. She had a security screen over the front door, and she did have a gate that went into the backyard. That has to be secured the back because she has a swimming pool. But there was no fence around the front of the property. You could just walk right up to the front door. Tricia, speaking of April, how are the donations going to affect your disability? Do you know what the limit you can earn? Yes, I do. And I would, you know what? That's not even a concern at this point because YouTube, Google, they take so much out of the royalties that I would have to receive a ton of money for it to even be a concern. And I have so many expenses. Just already the iPad, the phone, all the chargers, uh, the car charger, these, and this is just temporary. I still need to get the permanent one. I've got the $15 Amazon mic, which, if I don't hold it right up to my mouth like this, you can't hear me in the long form content when I do it from my desk. Um, I need cameras. I need tripods. I need more ring lights. Like, it would be years out before I'd have to worry. Yeah, I am aware of that, Tricia. Occasionally, I still do a PI case, but, not in the field. I'll have somebody go out and handle it for me, but it's just very small increments. In fact, every year since I was diagnosed with the cancer, it was the first time ever that my business, when they add the profits and the loss, showed a loss. And he's just thinking, "Why are you still doing this?" And I'm like, "Because I have to keep that PI license going. I have to keep the guard license going. I have to keep this going. I have to keep this going because if God forbid one day they were just like, okay, we're not going to pay you anymore, I would have to have some sort of ability to be able to get going again. But it would be very hard to do that when you're in the hospital and you're at home and you're walking with a cane and you can barely make it to the laundry in the back of the building. But yeah, I keep track of all of that. And I have a very good CPA who's extremely honest. In fact, he's Canadian and he handles people in the entertainment industry. because my typist who referred me, her brother was a very famous Hollywood film director, and I won't name him, but that's how I got into this guy. Like you had to know somebody to get in. And so he is right up my alley as far as being able to handle residuals or royalties. Well, I have confetti on the screen. That's what happened on my end. Trying to heart it. There we go. I should be doing that on my iPad so I'm not shaking the camera every time. Now, Trisha, you're still here. So let me ask you this one more time because I know that you know more about this than I know. Congratulations to me. Thank you, everybody. Now that we've met the goal, if somebody came in and wanted to send one, not that I'm asking you to do that, it would still continue, right? And you did see the confetti on your side. That was my next question. Yeah, I saw the confetti. So I do not have to set another one, but if somebody just came in and at random said, here's 99 cents, it would work. Okay. The goal is just for a visual inspiration. Okay. Thank you. I'm telling you, without these, there wouldn't be a check coming in May because my views, most of the views that I've had on the Nancy Guthrie case, and then I threw in a few videos on Josh Duggar. I threw in a video about Adam Walsh, all true crime because you guys are telling me you're coming here for the true crime. It's a wrap! Oh my God, it's a wrap. Where you make your money on YouTube is in the royalties, in the Google AdSense. And I know it's very complicated if you don't have a monetized channel, but there's CPM, cost per mil, and there's RPM. And that changes daily. It also changes depending on what part of the world you're in, what countries are watching you, where your views are coming from. There's a lot that goes into it. And it changes rapidly, from moment to moment. But in order to be successful on YouTube and know that you're going to at least see a little check every month, you've got to be getting the views. And on the lives, even on the replays on the lives, the RPM is very, very small. It's probably triple or quadruple the amount if you're viewing the long form videos, the actual videos that are on my YouTube channel. So make sure that you check out the videos on the YouTube channel. Just go to my main homepage and click video. And I have a video there that's on the Nancy Guthrie case that a lot of people are saying they liked it a lot, but it's only got like 300 and some views. I need tens of thousands of views on something like that. And there's times where in these chats I have 2 or 3,000 people coming in, not all at the same moment. I think the most we've ever seen on the ticker is like 106, and it was just for a few seconds. But still, that's amazing for me. The fact that I have 22 people in here right now, that's amazing. Yeah, I had insurance license before going on disability. I let it go and did not want to renew courses, tired of insurance anyway. After 11 or 12 strokes, too much liability insurance to required insurance. Okay. Yeah, I'm very, very careful. I'm extremely careful. And I don't hide any money. I don't get paid in cash. Like everything that I do is traceable. I don't have money stashed in my safe. I don't have cash under the mattress. Uh, Anything that I do is on the up and up with a 1099. Me too. It kind of was a little scary today when the dentist saw I had to actually bring a big sheet of paper from the hospital group that's been handling my situation and say, but we still had to talk about it, and he was going, and his head was just spinning. I know. Oh, oh, you're talking to Jay, Trisha. Okay. Yeah, but I get it, Jay. You just hang in there, girl. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad Jay is here. I'm glad every single person is here. And there's other people in this chat that I know personally, and they've been going through it too. Thank you, Trisha. You were meant to be here because if you weren't, you wouldn't still be with the living. I just started this channel the end of December 2020 just because I wanted to document my life after cancer. I didn't want to focus on the cancer. I don't want to have one of those kind of channels, but I just wanted to document my life. Good day. They're clean. And he told me if I wanted, I could buy the whitening, but it's like a 3-month process. And he's like, you don't really need it. He's like, because I brush my teeth like at least 3 times a day. He said, be careful of those whitening agents that are in toothpaste because a lot of them are very gritty. It's like putting like Ajax on your teeth and then it ruins the enamel. I'm like, yeah, somebody was calling me out on my YouTube channel. And he's like, no, your teeth are for your age. They're like in really good shape. Tried it, doesn't work. Yeah, and I don't have the money because I got to save now. First, I have to go to the cardiologist, get the clearance that I can have the local anesthetic because he might have to give me the one that doesn't have the heart medication in it. And he goes, you're going to feel pain because it's not going to numb you all the way. And remember, redheads are extra sensitive to pain and need additional anesthetic. And he said, yeah, that the lower kind is only going to work for about 20 minutes and we're going to need more time than that. So it's going to be, I'm scared just to like go in and get that done. But maybe the doctor will approve me to have the more strong anesthetic. But, I won't be saying, "Hey, hit me again," because, I don't wanna die in the chair from a heart-related arrhythmia because I went and got a filling replaced. So, that's a little scary, to tell you the truth. But I did really well in the cleaning, and my blood pressure was great, so that's a win. Yep, save your money. Already conspiracy theories on Artemis. One of my Canadian friends came in here and says, "Why don't they just do a mission where they actually land so we can just move on from, like, all these theories?" A lot of people spitting some odd things. I hadn't heard that, Melissa. And you're in Australia and you're hearing about this. Interesting. Is the good JR still here? Because it looks like they're showing. Are they showing another chase, or is this just a repeat of the first one? Like I can't turn up the volume because I don't want to get demonetized. What? Do not fear. You'll only win from now on. See, that's what I have to think. Mate, we get all the news here. But I didn't mean you were like living out in the bush, up on the north end of the continent. But yeah, what part of Australia are you in? At least what is it? Province or state? What do they call the individual? Is it provinces or states? Because Australia is a very large country, and you're not the only Aussie that's ever come in here. We've actually had some Kiwis came in here from New Zealand and a couple from Melbourne. It's funny you would say that, Melissa. Are you aware that that's where Savannah Guthrie was born? She was born in Melbourne. She didn't move to the house in Arizona till she was like 4 years old. And I don't know if she lived anywhere else, but she was actually born in Australia because her dad was a mining engineer, and I guess he had a gig there at the time of her birth. Yeah. Yeah, isn't that amazing? So I would assume she had the dual citizenship. And I know from some of my YouTube friends, oh, there's a guy that's a reseller, and his mom lived in, or she was born in New Zealand, and his dad was born in Scotland, and but he was born in Durban, South Africa. So he has a South African passport, a UK passport, and an Aussie passport that is interchangeable with New Zealand. I didn't know that the passports in Australia or New Zealand are interchangeable between countries. So you could live or work in either one. Isn't that amazing? Because people are always ragging on that guy, like, well, why didn't you just have a green card in America? Why didn't you get your citizenship? And he's like, because if you get your US citizenship, you can only have one other citizenship. So he would have to decide, do I want to give up my mom's citizenship, my dad's, or my own? And so that's why he's just kept it the way it is. And it's like, wow, like, I wonder which passport he uses to travel. I would assume his birth country. You learn so much here on YouTube. This YouTube can be educational at times. So yeah, the dentist appointment, it went well, but I do have to go get some clearance from the cardiologist regarding how we're going to handle the meds at the next appointment. So I haven't had the next appointment. It's not on the schedule yet until I get that clearance from the cardiologist. Yes, all the New Zealanders come there for work. They make much more than there. Oh, I didn't know that. Jet Set says to Melissa in Aussie land, I watch a homesteading channel from Australia. Urban, is it Queensland homestead? I've not heard of that. Exactly. Why go from 3 to 2? This guy, he's like a huge reseller, but the majority of his income is on YouTube. Like if I was making the kind of money he's making, I wouldn't even have to worry about my disability, but that's never going to be me because I am disabled and I can't go out and film all over the country or all over the world. You know, I can't do what JLR Investigates is doing and go sit out in front of somebody's house that's, 3,000 miles away from where I live, in his case, and sit there for 15 hours at a time. I'd be passed out in 5 minutes. So, Jet Set says, I am a woman and I am a widow. Oh, I didn't know that, Jet Set. I'm sorry. Not sorry that you're a woman, but sorry that you're a widow. I didn't know that. I know you're in Seattle, and you've said it here publicly, so I think it's okay to say that. Now, if anybody here sent me an email in the past week, a lot of it got wiped out when I did the transfer between the phones because it said I had something like 5,000 Gmails, and I'm like, that's not even my primary email. That's just the back end of my business website that it's just sitting there still. And I have to pay for that every year, even though I wanted the guy to take it down, my IT guy, or my web guy, but he was like, "No, I'm leaving it up." Hi, Lynn Marshall. Welcome in. Where are you coming in from, Lynn? Oh, Jet Set. Bless you, my dear, for even looking at anything on my channel. I didn't know you had a channel, Jet Set. I don't really put much of it except for my photography and a few travel videos. Well, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, how many of you guys have channels here? I'll have to follow you. Lynn, you're from Sierra Vista, Arizona. How far is that from Tucson? And since you are in Arizona, what do you think about Nancy Guthrie? If you haven't seen my whole series, Lynn, go back to the very beginning from February 2nd, and you can just watch them all the way through. Because we're getting to the point where there's not a lot of new information to talk about. Oh, you're 95 miles from Tucson. Okay. So what do you think, Lynn? What's your honest opinion? Is this case solvable? Will they find her? Will they find Nancy Guthrie? Will they find out who did this? Is it gonna be solved any day now, or is this something that's going to go, uh, unclosed for years? God forbid. What does people think? I think that she's already gone, but I want this to be solved. Oh, thank you, Jane, for coming in. Oh, cool, Trisha. Wow, this has been incredible today. Absolutely incredible. I think this is my highest day. Now I realize that I have jewels on my end, but you can't obviously send them to yourself. And I'm trying to find like somebody I know that's live, but they're in a vertical live, so I can send them the jewels. I think I sent some to ATC on his Sunday live, and I know I sent a super chat to Kermudge, one of our mods here. But he's busy. He's working on the Alaska homestead, so and he's filming long form content videos that blow up. Sometimes he's got 1 million views or more. That's how you make the money on YouTube. I mean, the super chats, the super thanks, the gifts, the memberships, it all adds up. Every penny counts. But how you make the money on the channel is through the royalties. It's like if you're a musician and you've got a song on the radio, if you're Taylor Swift, you're making millions. If you're some unheard of one hit wonder person and your songs are not being played mainstream, you're not making very much. Yes, but he does multiple platforms. Who, Kermudge? Okay, Melissa, what is it? This Australian psychic raised something interesting. What is it that the psychic said? Oh, yes, Kermudge. Okay. I didn't know he had multiple platforms. I know he has YouTube, and I know that he's had other channels before he's had this one. She said they cased the place for 2 weeks. That's actually, I believe that's true, Melissa. I don't know if it was 2 weeks, but that's been in the news here from the very beginning that the neighbor said there was a white van with an unidentified person in it that was sitting in the neighborhood for at least several days. I don't know if it was up to 2 weeks. And was that a psychic or was that one of those spirit box readers? But thanks for letting us know, for those who didn't know that. She accidentally died, and they all panicked, and they had to ring the big guy. It's very possible because I do think that the actual abductors, kidnappers, whatever they actually are, were the boots on the ground. They were the worker bees for someone else. This is much bigger than what we think. This is not just one or two yahoos that said, hey, let's go kidnap an 84-year-old woman and let's get some money out of her. No. Nyla, I'm in Los Angeles. And Melissa says, no, it was a psychic. Okay. Do you know the lady in Australia, Melissa? I can't think of what. It's kind of a weird channel name, but she's Aussie and she's there with her daughters and they read the spirit box. Yeah. There are some people that are talented, Jay, but most of these people are just there for the clicks. This big guy said, meet me near an area near Washington. Yeah, those spirit box readers. That I think that's complete BS, Jay. I believe you. It's kind of fun though, just for what they call, let's just say, poops and giggles. Tricia says, I get all my Nancy news from the psychics and tarot card readers. They are more entertaining, and it seems that Ellie has no clue. I know, it couldn't hurt, right? And who is this big guy, Melissa? Is that somebody that was mentioned by the psychic? Or is that a YouTube channel? Or who is this big guy? The lady said the big guy turned up with a huge red truck and took Nancy's body. Oh, the mastermind. My mind just goes all over the place. The organizer. Nyla, I grew up, I was born in California, raised in Tennessee and Texas. I'm currently living in California, though, so I don't know what is happening. We're just talking about the Nancy Guthrie case that's out of Tucson, Arizona. Hmm, interesting. Something has to break on this case. They have to get a break somehow. And if it turns out to be my tips, then I'm going to fall over dead, but I don't expect that to happen because I'm not working this case. Now, if I was working this case, like for real, like, then I'd be pounding their doors down, like, listen to me. Because I have solved things, crimes in my career that the police have not been able to solve. But I'm just like you guys. I'm just, hearing everything, through the media and the internet. The lady said they buried Nancy in soft ground. Well, there certainly wouldn't be any soft ground in Arizona, that's for sure. Hmm. And now this one Bitcoin, one half Bitcoin ransom demander guy is saying she was seen in Sonora. Yeah, you don't quickly get rid of a body in Arizona as far as burial where the ground is dry and hard. Exactly. It's rock solid. But without getting too grotesque here, there are a lot of remains that are dumped in the desert that are not actually buried, just dumped. And they wouldn't last long. And especially with the heat now there and the wildlife, but they wouldn't last long at all. Who else besides the daughter and the husband saw Nancy? They were the last two people to see her. Yeah, well, it depends on if it was what was the crime? Was it abduction? Was it kidnapping for ransom? Was it somebody who went there intentionally to take her and never bring her back? What's the motive here? There's just so much that we don't know. But there's nothing about this case that's typical. Unless it turns out that she was targeted because she was the mother of Savannah Guthrie and somebody's got people that are famous and that also have a lot of money have a bullseye on their back. Or it's a close person, such as family, friend, neighbor, worker. I watched a former FBI profiler late last night. He believes that some of the things Savannah says in those one Bitcoin emails are done to unnerve the criminal, keep them off balance. Possibly. But I don't think Harvey Levin has a deal with the FBI, the Pima County Sheriff's Department in Savannah, Guthrie, to talk about all those notes. She said these guys are desperate and will do anything for money. Mhm. Money's definitely involved in this. It's just, motive. And it's just so sad. It just makes me sometimes I wanna cry, especially when I see Savannah in tears. Yeah, I don't think they would let Harvey Levin in on it at all. That's, like, ridiculous. Yeah, I don't have Court TV, Oregon Pride Walk. Might have to get it if this case actually they arrest someone and it goes to trial. That's gonna be a tough one to watch, though. The person or people involved in this, they don't deserve to live, in my opinion. Wouldn't be here today if it wasn't because of my faith. Exactly. That's me too. Yeah, are these professional criminals, Melissa, or is this like some newbies that didn't know what the heck they were doing and they didn't prepare for the worst? Jet set. Some kind of money, property, or assets at the bottom of it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%, Melissa. Now, listen to this, everybody. She said the guy on the porch is a soft person and he is struggling with what he has done. Yes, that's all I'm going to say. What if she had already died in the house and they're trying to cover it up? She didn't because when the pacemaker unsynced, which would have been about 30 feet from the house, um, her heart was still beating. Oh, geez, Kathy, how are you still here? God wants you here. Trisha is recommending to Kathy to sign up to Netflix to watch The House of David. I have not seen that. I had it temporarily just for a month for $7.99 because my friend's granddaughter got on a TV show there, and it ended up in one day being the number 2 show on Netflix. And now, well, let's just say things are happening. And I'm so happy to say that I know her. I'm so proud. I'm so proud when I see like people that are just starting out and then, you know, this kid was 11, made a pilot, and at 12 filmed a show, a very tiny TV series, and you know, it's the springboard, the stepping stone that's made her enormously famous overnight. That's just so awesome. You were here through prayer. Me too. So many people prayed for me when I was going through the cancer treatment, and then I really needed the prayers when I had the side effects. Hey, Trisha, can you run the chat? Do your little song and dance for just a moment. I gotta walk into the other room. I'll be right back. Almost had a hot mic. Thank you, my dear. Thank you all. Did you sing? Good question, Kelly. Can you be family oriented if you unalive a grandma? And even if they didn't intentionally do it, they'll still be charged with felony M if it happened in the commission of another felony, which a kidnapping is. I am not of, I will never be in the group of people who think this was a botched burglary or robbery. But then when I say, this is so messed up that anything is possible, I think that Chris Nanos is going to definitely lose his career over this. Someone is going to have to take the fall for this cluster F. I mean, the scene was already compromised before the FBI even arrived. It's inexcusable. It's unforgivable. And depending on how this does or doesn't turn out, I think there may be some big lawsuits that'll be filed against the Pima County Sheriff. Exactly. And if something went wrong in the house and she, passed in the house, they're not going to take a body with them. That she was her heart was beating when her pacemaker unsynced from the devices. So she was alive at that moment. Yeah, that's a good statement, Kelly. That's one of the best statements I've read all day today. My house was burglarized, says KMG. It was totally ransacked, every room, nothing left unturned. Exactly. Melissa says the big dude organizer is involved in many illegal things. Yes. There's an organizer. And then there's all these characters and players. You guys, if you haven't seen my long form content video on this, it's the most recent. It's at the very top of my video tab. Go watch the Nancy Guthrie suspect list video. Tell me what you think. Well, you know what? I've been going for, oh my God, 112 minutes and 30 seconds. I just wanted to check in today. I didn't even know if I was going to go live because I didn't know if I was going to be under the influence of the Novocaine. But apparently that's going to have to wait a little while longer till I can get clearance from my electrophysiologist cardiologist. Yeah, try to say that 3 times. Electrophysiologist cardiologist. And he's so busy. And he's going to have to read a piece of paper and sign it. And they're going to have to get it to me so I can get it to the dentist and say, I have the paper. And now we have to start this. And his sister, who works in his office, she's the co-dentist there. She just left today for Thailand. So it's going to be very, very tough to even get the appointment. And hopefully I don't have any more what's called flash pain. I had a little bit when I got home, like, oh, I felt it. And then it went away. So, and if you notice, I get a little anxious about medical stuff. You would too if you've been through what I've been through. Never had anxiety in my life, never been medically treated for it, but I do have medical anxiety through the roof. We will never know until trial that a Bitcoin was or wasn't given. There has been no payments to either of the Bitcoin accounts. They're both empty. So if you've heard anything else, it's not true. There's been no payments made to the Bitcoin accounts. Now, there could be something going on behind the scenes that we don't know, but the Bitcoin has not been paid. Not with the 6 million ransom demand or with the 1/2 Bitcoin Well, then he wanted one, then he wanted a half, and he'll get the other half. That's a separate person. No payments have been made. Now, we have no idea though what's going on behind the scenes, but Harvey Levin has access to those accounts because he can see them. I don't know a lot about digital currency, but he can see the Bitcoin on the chain. You can look it up and see that the wallet is empty. They are not going to have Harvey know anything valuable. All that man sees is money. Yeah, but he's been pretty successful at it, hasn't he? If that was my mom and I had the money, I would have paid. He's a slime ball. He's an interesting fellow, let's just say that. I was in a meeting with him once with Jane Velez Mitchell, and I didn't actually talk to him because there was like a lot of people there, but he seemed pretty cool. Like, yes, and we don't care that a different wallet was set up. On new cars, they can do a road on the car of when doors open and close, or a read on the car of when. Yes, everything is in the computer. He is also in the e-files. That's what I've heard, Trisha. But supposedly so is Savannah's husband. Just saying. Yeah. You guys watch the suspect video. And I'm very careful how I word everything. So don't get upset with me if you're saying allegedly, reportedly, everybody's innocent till proven guilty. I will say it till I'm blue in the face. Everyone that we talk about, either in the comments or on these live streams, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. Even if somebody gets arrested, they're still innocent until proven guilty. Yes, and Savannah is also mentioned, but I think that could be to dirty her up because of the interviews. Could be. I've heard rumors. Is that the 20-minute video? Yeah, it's actually 24 minutes. Have you seen it, Kelly? It's on the video tab. It's not part of the live stream. It's a separate video. And that's what I need people to watch. Even if they just go to my playlist and they pick something completely different. I mean, I got people watching kitties and bunnies and elephants and haunted houses and oh, you have seen it. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Chastity, hello. Where are you coming in from? Hey, Ibrahim. Haven't seen you in a while. The read on the car might highlight if Tommaso did drop her off or not. Good thinking, Melissa. And I saw somebody online. Oh, you're from Japan? Wow. I have like a second family that's from Japan. One of the closest people in my life was from Japan, and I also have had a lot of Japanese clients over the years. Japan is definitely my friend. And I love the Japanese professional baseball. My favorite baseball players actually here in the major leagues have been from Japan. I've never been to Japan, but I know a lot about Japan. I've got all kinds of Japanese gifts, and I've even got some sample currencies and coins, and I've got quite a few Japanese things in my home, and I have quite a few Thai things from my Thai family. Because LA is a melting pot. We have people from all over the world here. Sports are not your strong suit. That's okay. You are welcome here. Yeah, the Japanese craftsmanship is excellent. The profiler also brought up the fact that Nancy coming and going did not register on the camera either. He would be interested in knowing why. Somebody I was watching, who was it? Somebody was upset on the internet saying, oh, well, you can see headlights from that front door. You can see the headlights across the street from her house. There were cars there. Those alleged headlights that are out to the left of the camera, those are the lights that are on the empty house that's up on the hill where the lady that owns it through a trust. I think it was her parents and now it's hers, but she hasn't actually lived in the house, and she's the one that's got the construction crew there from Mexico, and they're going back and forth. And, right after Nancy's disappearance, they laid the concrete for the pool. And one of the YouTubers who I don't watch supposedly has a video of the cops rushing up to that house and running to the backyard. But, what are they going to do? Dig the concrete out of the ground? But they've been looking into that house. Um, no, it's from the front door, Jay. If you see the lights up in front of the door, that's the house up on the top of the cul-de-sac, which is right at the end of her driveway. Oh, I can understand you fine, Chastity. Is your primary language Japanese? I guess there was a camera on the corner of the guest house directed at the garage overhead door. Oh, that's nice to know. Oh, your primary language is Japanese. Where in Japan are you from, if you don't mind me asking? My close friends from Japan are from Osaka. Tokyo. Wow. Amazing. 3 to 411. Oh, you're coming in from the UK. Hi, April from the UK. Are the reports that Nancy's Apple Watch was synced to her pacemaker correct? Yes. That's what they said. They said that she had an Apple Watch and it was synced to her pacemaker, as was her cell phone. Now, they never said, I don't think they ever said that her cell phone was an Apple, but they said it was synced to her watch and her cell phone. So you're telling me that a pacemaker cannot sync to a pacemaker. See, that could be wrong information, but that's what they've been saying from the very beginning of this case. And that it unsynced uh, 41 minutes into the front door camera being activated. Even though the camera was gone when they investigated, the solar panel was still there, so it would have still captured pictures. Maybe. I don't know how many cameras she had. Garage camera was not disabled. I don't know. I can read a tiny bit of kanji. What's the live about? Oh, we're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. I'm April Davis, PI, and I'm a licensed private investigator. Chastity from Los Angeles, California. I'm a licensed California PI, and I have an entire live series on the Nancy Guthrie case. She was the 84-year-old woman who was either abducted, kidnapped, or possibly even unalive. She was the 84-year-old mother of today, uh, the Today Show Savannah Guthrie. It's a very big case in the United States. Tricia says, no, you cannot directly sync a pacemaker to an Apple Watch. While some modern pacemakers use Bluetooth to send data to a smartphone app, the Apple Watch does not directly connect to or control it. I didn't know that. Does not control the device. Hmm, that's interesting. Kelly Ray says, my heart implant is synced with my phone. If I get more than 30 feet, I think away it won't read or sync, but the doctor still gets info. Yeah, when she was 30 feet away, that's when she was removed from her property. That's why they know the exact time. And exactly so many minutes later, from the distance it would have taken to get from her house to the back end of the Catalina foothills, that's when the white Kia Soul goes zooming past a neighbor's Ring doorbell camera. That was a couple miles away. But if that's when it unsynced and that's the moment she was taken, and what it would take to drive from point A to point B, the times match up perfectly. So when they say that they're not really thinking that that white Kia Soul is credible, I have a tendency to disagree with that, that it's a possibility. Okay, so free, the 411 says, please look into this as an Apple Watch. You know, my mods, you should write that down. Send me that. Let's look into, can an Apple Watch, it has a magnet that can interfere with a pacemaker. So they advise not to sync them together. Hmm. I think she was taken for revenge or money, Chastity. And I think she passed away or was unalive fairly quickly after the crime occurred. And whether that was planned or that was unexpected, we don't know yet. If these people were camped out front of the house for 2 weeks, what did they eat? Fast food, and where did they sleep? Well, they might not have been there 24/7. Yours are synced together, says Kelly. That's what they've been reporting all along, that that her watch, her Apple Watch was on the bedstand next to her bed, and that they also found the cell phone, her purse, her wallet, and her car keys in the house untouched. No money, no credit cards were taken that they know of. All the rooms were described as immaculate, which would totally, kind of poo-poo the burglary theory or the South American gang burglary theory or the robbery theory. So does that mean when Nancy was on the Today Show with Savannah, she had her cell phone in her back pocket? I have no idea. Melissa, the house all lit up was a rental and they moved out shortly before or after Nancy went missing. Yes, that's true, but apparently there is a construction crew there that's coming back and forth from Mexico, so they're not there like full time. And apparently the concrete was laid for the pool immediately after this disappearance occurred. No problem, Chastity. Thanks for coming in all the way from Tokyo, Japan. That's a first, everybody. We should be making a list, everybody. Who can make the list? We have Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Syria, Iran, Israel, Canada, the UK, Germany, Brazil, Italy. I mean, this is amazing. This has given me a whole new, little oomph, a little pickup in my life. Thank you all. I can't thank you enough. You have no idea how much this means to me. With my illness and, my disability, I don't get out much. It was really pushing it for me last night to get out and have to walk into a shopping mall just to get this phone. I know. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, but you know what? I wish I had more walls in this tiny place because my other place that was a townhouse in the Brady Bunch house neighborhood, it had an office that had a built-in shelf before I moved there, and all my like career stuff and all kinds of stuff was hung up in that office, and it was my favorite room in the house because it was the only place I ever lived where I had my office. And if this place had two bedrooms, I would still have an office even though my job is like almost like I'm 99.9% retired. And then the day that I actually have to talk to a PI about something that's important, that's when the iPhone broke. What day was the pool concrete poured? Jay says. I think it was right after she was kidnapped or taken. I hate to use the word kidnap because I'm not sure that these ransoms are even legit. I think maybe confusing an ECG strip machine with a pacemaker. Why would someone connect to a pacemaker? No, pacemakers definitely connect. We'll just have to look to see if they work, if they sync with an Apple Watch. Hey, Sue Brock. Yeah, I'm getting ready to go off the air, but welcome in. You might have to go back to the beginning, Sue. Kelly, great minds think alike. It could be because they are kind of looking into that house now. Can you imagine? We're looking all over the world for her, and God forbid she's lying underneath the concrete of the swimming pool that's walking distance from her house. Hello, the good JR, you're back. I'm still on, but I am getting ready to go off. And for those who weren't here earlier, This was my early birthday card from the good JR investigator. Thank you, friend. Hey, as long as you're watching, that's all that counts, Sue. Oh, the standoff is still going on? Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm busy, they've gone to um, another recorded live of a chase. Person is still alive. Yeah, I thought I saw somebody moving around in that car. Oh, it was the high-speed chase that ended with the crash into the wall in Jurupa Valley, California. That's what he's been watching, where they had the sheriff, like the SWAT van, but it looks like an army. Well, actually, it looks like it's army color. Uh, it's army green, but it has the hatch on the top where it looks like a submarine hatch, and pretty interesting. But that happens all the time. And when you live in a big city, I mean, there's 12 million people just in LA County. And if you add Riverside, San Bernardino, which is the largest county in the world, and Orange and Ventura and Kern, I mean, oh my God, there's at least 50 million people here. And there's a line for everything. If you want to go pump gas, there's a line. If you want to just stop at the 7-Eleven and run in and grab something, there's a line, a long line. You can't just run up to Target or a Walmart, or we don't even have a Walmart near here. Like Studio City, we don't even have fast food. It's forbidden. But we get them every day. Oh, I got a lot of them, Hawk. And the sad thing is, everybody wants me to write a book, but I can't name names. I might have to take a lot of these stories to the grave. Subrock says, I live in a town with 10,000. We probably have that just in the neighborhood. Moved from a town of 2,000. Oh, you're in the big city now, Sue. Yeah, fast food, there's a moratorium on it in Studio City. So the Studio City In-N-Out is not really in Studio City. It's on Cahuenga. There's the Cahuenga, and then there's Cahuenga Pass, and then there's Cahuenga North, which is actually the south end where Desilu is, where I've worked. The old Desilu. It wasn't Desilu when I worked there because I'm not that old. But yeah, we have an In-N-Out, but it's on the part of Cahuenga that's in the past, so it's technically Hollywood Hills. But they say it In-N-Out Studio City. Nope. We can't have any drive-throughs either. We had a McDonald's that was allowed, but it didn't have a drive-through, and they had to close it and make it into another restaurant because they didn't have enough customers. It was across from CBS, which was the old MTM lot where they did all those classic shows like Rhoda and Mary Tyler Moore and oh gosh, Phyllis and Bob Newhart and Roseanne and that '70s show, who a very good friend of mine from the past is in that show. Gilligan's Island. I mean, it's walking distance. So they had a walk up one, but it couldn't have a drive through. So I should have been more clear that we can't have um, we can't have anything that has a drive through in Studio City. I grew up in a town of 340. That's amazing. Yeah, there is supposedly the big storm coming in, JR. That is true, and it may hit on my birthday. Love Rhoda. I loved her too, but I now call her Valerie. I have the pleasure to be able to call her Val, actually, because I worked with her. We worked on a little known TV show. There was a lot of cool people on that show. I've even been to Val's grave over at Hollywood Forever because I knew her that well. That when she actually passed away from her cancer when I was starting my chemo, and I promised that if I survived, I would take a trip into Hollywood Forever, and I ended up having to go to a funeral there on the girl in the sewer case. That's not on my live streams, but if you guys go to my playlist and go to True Crime, you might want to see all the videos about the girl in the sewer. And I can't really say much more than what's already in the videos, but I was at that girl's funeral and I was invited by her her family. And it's one of the worst crimes that's ever happened here in Los Angeles. And I even know the detective that's working that case. If you guys are interested in true crime, please go and watch the videos on the girl in the sewer. I need to make a food run. Well, I'm going to have to do it here, but The Price is Right was filmed in the area too. That's actually at the main CBS in Television City. The CBS that's here in Studio City is CBS over at Radford, which is a separate lot. Oh, you mean the Artemis is coming to the West Coast? Yeah, you know what? That's a good point, JR, because we are going to have storms. Wow, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. Did I ever suspect supernatural activities? No. Was the Black Dahlia in LA? Yes, yes, ma'am. I've also got some Menendez Brothers videos too. You should watch those. I know a lot about that case. And I haven't made an updated video and I need to, but I have a really good video. Part of it, my voice is a little because I was having my heart issue, but watch the video on MH370 because there's some updated information about that I would like to talk about at some point. Oh, there was some scandals about Bob, but you know what? He was wonderful when it came to um, animal rescue and work. And yeah, there were some scandals involving some women that worked on the show. You would have never guessed that, would you? Brenda, hey, I'm 136 minutes into this. When one of my besties, one of the best besties I ever had in the whole world, when she passed, I had to deal with her sister from Canada, and she'd been to LA several times to see her sister, but we had to go out and handle some stuff privately, just the two of us. And she was like, "Wow, you're like a tour guide. You know so much." And I'm like, "This has been my life, since I was 3 years old, basically." I mean, I didn't grow up here, but I moved to California at age 1, and um, I left at 4. Lived in the Bay Area in LA, and then I came home at 16 just to get ready to move out here at 18. And even though I'm a PI and I'm not an entertainer, I feel like I should have my own Internet Movie Database page just because of everything that I've worked on. And, you know, there's a really good friend of mine whose entire family is in the business, and 2 of the grandkids, have TV shows and movies coming out. And it's just like, and these are not just people I know, but people that have been in my home. And it's just, all my friends are like everybody, even my bestie from Thailand was, in show business. And I didn't even know that when I met her. And it was just like, oh my God, everywhere we went. Let me tell you the story someday about if you remind me, I might talk about the dad from the Wonder Years and what happened when I was out with my movie star bestie. It's just so funny. Yeah, I've got some my entertainment stories would be a lot better than my PI stories. And just all the history, like, all the times I got to work at the old Desilu and Universal and Warner and Paramount and CBS. And although I've only ever worked at CBS, the one in Studio City, I've never had the honor to work at CBS Television City. And that just kills me because that's where they filmed All in the Family. But I did work with Carol O'Connor. Yeah, but I worked with him on location. So yeah, I got to meet the Carol O'Connor. Like, hell, I've had Steven Spielberg's mom cook my lunch, and sit there and watch me eat it like this close to my face. Like, you better eat it or I'll have my feelings hurt. And she's watching me and I'm thinking, oh my God. And I'm in my suit that was handcrafted in Thailand. Like, don't spill anything. Don't, oh my God. Like, I'm like shaking on the inside, like, oh my God, like Steven Spielberg's mom is in my face. Like, Do you like it? What else can I get you? Like, oh my God. Or to have somebody like that, to have the chef make your dinner. That's like, wow. Yeah. But most of the time, it's not glamorous. You're eating an old piece of cold pizza in the back of a surveillance vehicle, peeing in a cup. And that's not easy for us women. But I've learned to master it. I've mastered that so well that anytime I'm in the hospital and they give me a bedpan, I refuse. They give me something called a Pickwick, and I'm like, hell no. This looks like something dirty or naughty. Absolutely not. Go get me some styrofoam cups that are like coffee cups. Go get me some cups. And then they come in later and all the cups are lined up on the little tray that goes over your bed. And they're like, oh my God. Like, I'm a master at it. And most of the nurses are cool with it, but some are not. Oh, I lived through the Night Stalker case. I know a lot about that. Some of the people I've worked with worked on that. A lot of people I worked with LAPD have worked on that. Ask me anything about the Menendez brothers case, anything. But we Carol O'Connor was wonderful. I've never met Rob. That was the only main person that I met from All in the Family. Now, Friends, I've known at least 15 to 20 people on that show. I've known a lot of people that, or not a lot, but a few that have been on old shows like The Partridge Family and The Brady Bunch and The Waltons and Little House on the Prairie, people like that. Silver Spoons. God, I could just go on, especially the child stars. Some of them I actually know. Most of them I've just worked with. I got to hang out for a whole day with, or whole afternoon with Soleil Moonfry, Punky Brewster and her family. And the best part of that day was meeting David Arquette, and that part of the GoPro failed. I called my Canadian famous friend, and I'm like, I got David Arquette on the video, and I can't find it. It's God. Like, and she's like, sometimes people just don't push the button, push the record. And I'm like, but I did, and I did. And this is a known problem with GoPro. And it was the best part of my show. And it was so physically hard for me to do that. It was a march with a bunch of celebrities in Studio City. And it actually went very, very well. We were completely supported by the LAPD. Now, on the other hand, I've been up to Tila's before. I've been to her house a lot. I've actually met her. And I have a necklace from Casey Johnson, the Johnson and Johnson heiress, after she passed away. And man, the first time I was at her house, I was on TMZ. The LA Fire Department came, the LAPD came, the air support came. Like it was huge. So to be able to do that march with Soleil and her kids without the the police choppers coming, and it was really cool. It meant a lot to me. Oh, Fox says the being in the cup image. It is what it is. Do I know Cindy Adams? No, I don't. Oh, I've met Ricky Schroeder when he was 13. My Canadian friend did a movie with Ricky. I haven't seen Ricky though in years. He's been going through some bad times. Yes, the a lot of the sitcoms have studio audiences, and there's a reason for that because especially all the shows I've worked, like Blossom, Empty Nest, Saved by the Bell, The College Years, Herman's Head, The John Larroquette Show, Daddy's Girls with Dudley Moore, The Office with Valerie Harper. You got to have the two audiences because there's the dress rehearsal that's the day before tape day, which is either Tuesdays or Fridays. And then, like when we do a Friday night show, you have the audience that comes in around 3. You check them in around 3. They get everybody out by 5 or 5:30. We go to dinner break. It's SAG-AFTRA, and I'm not even in the union, but I get the SAG-AFTRA um, chefs, and then you go back and then you do a second taping. And that's much longer because they do a lot of rewrites during the dinner break because they're listening to how the audience is reacting to the first show versus how they're going to react to the rewrites. And then it's all like edited and spliced together. So when you're seeing a show, it wasn't just filmed from point one to, from A to Z. It's actually filmed twice. And then sometimes there's even pre-filming that goes on if a particular actor can't come in on the tape night. So that's why they have the studio audience. It's not because they just want to be nice and invite people in. Now, some studio audiences, like The Nanny, those are paid professionals, and there's a reason for that, a security reason that I can't go into, why they have the paid audiences versus the freebies. And it's a lot of work, especially if you're on a big show like Saved by the Bell, as I was, and it's aired in like 100 and some different countries. I mean, it's huge. It was like before Friends and that frenzy. It's big. Yeah, you know what? Me and Dudley Moore go back to my very first case, February 24th, 1984. But I didn't actually meet Dudley until nine years later. We did a pilot together. And it's amazing because I'm not in show business, but I did a pilot with Dudley Moore. And a few weeks later, maybe, was it a few weeks? It could have been a month. I think it was pretty close together. I did my next pilot with Valerie Harper. And I was told by the production company that one of two of the shows would probably get picked up mid-season replacement, and ended up getting both of them picked up. And I'm not an actor, I'm not an entertainer, I'm not a writer, a producer, a director, but I only ever did two pilots and both shows were picked up. Absolutely. Like, an actor can't even say that my pilots went 2 for 2. And the one that I wasn't on, there was another one on the lot at the same time with Robert Hayes that the same company was working. I didn't get the one with Robert Hayes, and that one didn't make it. So if you want your pilot to be picked up, you better put April Davis PI on that show. Just saying. I'm just kidding. Um, I didn't see that movie, Kelly. I've seen a lot of his stuff. Did they make you sign tons of NDAs? Absolutely. Well, some did and some didn't. Like Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, my friend is on that show. My friend did one of the biggest scenes ever on that show. My friend that passed away, and I don't want to like get emotional here. In fact, I have the original. When you do a show like that, they will give you a recording and they'll write your name on it, like, this is from. And so as an actor, you get to take that home with you. Um, Back even when it was on film, and you would get a reel, and then they went to quarter-inch tape, then they went to VHS tape. I don't even now it's all digitized, but you do get a copy. And I've got some of the copies from my friend's appearance on Jimmy Kimmel, and I can't look at it because I'm going to need a VCR to do so, and I know it's just going to. I've got a whole box of those, gift tapes that are gifted to the actors, so that, well, they call it the talent, and they're probably worth a fortune, and I will take them with me to the grave. He does his taping at 5 for the nighttime show that comes out at 11:30 at night. A lot of people have to be there at 3. Yeah, you know what? Because I used to do the Tonight Show. One of the companies I worked for did not security for the show, but security for Ed McMahon on the show that was relating to another gig that he had done, and that he needed security full time, 24/7 for the rest of his life. And the company I worked for handled that. And so I could go to the Tonight Show whenever I wanted. And I, believe it or not, I was there like about 20 times, and I never saw Johnny Carson. But I got to meet Joan Rivers and all these other famous guest hosts, and I would get the front row seats and get the security escort. It was great. It's just who you know, I guess, because I wasn't important. Love Donny Osmond. I love Donny too. His name came up in one of my cases. He was one of a witness, but I didn't have to interview him, and he sounded like a hell of a nice dude. Yeah, I love me some Donny Osmond. Now the Osmonds, not so much, but Donny, yeah, he's cool. And I like Marie too. It was a beautiful movie. You mean 6 weeks? I did not see that. I know he did one with Kate Capshaw. But I don't remember. It was a long time ago. What did he do with Kate Capshaw? I'm gonna have to look that up. It's been so many years. Oh, tearjerkers. Oh, I don't want to see a tearjerker right now. I need to stay positive. Brenda, if you're still here, cousin Brenda, did everybody say hi to cousin Brenda? You missed like the pre-birthday super chat chain or train. It went crazy. It went absolutely crazy. You're gonna have to rewatch this video, Brenda, when you have time. I know you're busy. Okay. The good JR says the suspect is in custody. Yeah, give a shout out to cousin Brenda if she's still here. Yeah, I could. You know what? I know we're supposed to be talking about Nancy Guthrie here, but we could talk entertainment stories all day long. Yeah, Dudley, he was a good guy. He was going through a lot of issues when I worked with him because his health issues were starting to creep up that were going to end up taking his life. That was the same too with Estelle Getty. I worked with her for a couple of years, but she was going down a hill quickly. There was a lot going on when I was on Empty Nest because Estelle was she was starting to have cognitive issues, and she even had cognitive issues on the Golden not Golden Girls, but Golden Palace. I didn't do Golden Girls, but I did Golden Palace a little bit. He had something similar to Parkinson's. It wasn't Parkinson's, but it was similar, and it was a neurological issue with his brain, and it was causing problems with him knowing the script. Same thing with I don't know what Estelle had, but uh, towards the end things weren't good. Well, you don't consider Nancy's entertainment. Well, this is like a true crime. But yeah, she kind of could be since she was on the Today Show. Savannah's a celebrity, and when you're a celebrity, your family is high profile too. Absolutely. If you've seen my prior videos, every video we talk about that. The night this happened, or the day it happened, and they announced it Sunday night, I was like, oh my God, somebody got Savannah Guthrie's mother because of Savannah Guthrie. That was the first thing as a PI being in this business. I mean, I've dealt with not just millionaire families and entertainment industry families, you know, movie stars, TV producers, rock stars, athletes. Um, I've dealt with billion-dollar families that are worth billions, and there's a target every single day. Tricia says, "Love Estelle. I am Sophia. Picture it, Sicily, 1945." Estelle was actually a year younger than B. Arthur, and B was my favorite, and I never met B. The company I worked for, they did the final episode, but I didn't. I didn't come in until the next year over at the old Desi We did nurses over there, and we did the Golden Palace, but then we switched a lot of our shows over to Sunset Gower. Um, but it was cool because I did a lot of work with a movie star that had another show over there, so I'd get to go hang out whenever I wanted to, even during the rehearsals during the week, which was really great because I'd get to see the table reads and just all the stuff that goes on, when you're not on tape night, because that's when it's hyped is tape night, and that's usually when I would come in. So to be able to go on some of these shows during just their regular day-to-day operations was great. To say that I've been on the same stages as I Love Lucy, that's awesome. Heck, when I worked Empty Nest, I worked on the same stage as they did the 1980s, the whole Luke and Laura segment on General Hospital. That was done on the exact same stage. And that was the stage where one night during Empty Nest, I got hit by a stage door and I got hammered, almost knocked me unconscious, and they laid me down. The police officers I was working with, they laid me down. And the nurse that night, she would alternate between Blossom and Empty Nest week to week, and she was on Blossom that night, and they called her on radio like, you got to get down to Empty Nest. We have an emergency. And Blossom was up at the north end of the lot near Saved by the Bell and Herman's Head. Past Married with Children that was on that lot for 1 year that I was on it. And she had to go all the way from the north end to the south, and we were already to the back end. I mean, heck, you're almost at Paramount and Hollywood Forever when you're in the back of the lot. And she runs in, and I'm, stretched down on the floor, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's you." And I was given, um, I think a Tylenol or something like that and a cookie. That was it. I should have been in a hospital, and I had to go back to work. So the General Hospital stage where all the great Luke and Laura stuff was ever filmed, I almost um, was knocked unconscious on that set. Whatever you put out eventually comes back home, and I'm so happy for April. Thank you. Oh, what did I miss? So proud of you. You have never gotten credit for what you do. Now Now is the time. You have earned it. Experience, worked so hard many years. I have actually worked, Brenda, since I was 17. And the only thing that was a little, it annoys me, it's kind of sad, even though I went to 3 different colleges, uh, and I had carte blanche into any criminal justice program in the country that I wanted. I'd already been accepted at a big university for that. Um, I had to go to work sooner than I anticipated, and I didn't, I do have a college education. I also have detective school training, and I have a lot of training through Cali, and uh, I don't have that degree. I wish that I had that degree, and there's no use in me getting it now. But yeah, I just don't have the degree, people. It's not that I'm not smart, but I'm not as educated as somebody like Brenda. But yeah, I've worked my rear end off. And last night I had an unfortunate situation, Brenda. I actually had a very important phone call coming from a PI, and that's all I'm going to say. And my iPhone 13 replacement phone that had been sent to me by Apple, um, it decided to die. So my iPhone 13 replacement went to the Apple cemetery in the sky. And like I'm not already like facing medical bills, ambulance bills, pharmacy bills, the car insurance March. Uh, then I had to replace the iPad. Then some of my mics broke, and I had to replace that. But now I've got another about 13 to 1400 that I need to pay to Apple. Like I can't make this up, Brenda. Like, and for everybody that's helped me, thank you. If the Thai family can't make it on Sunday, which they might not be able to, I will have a live show on Sunday for the birthday. Well, I was going to become a police detective. That I was never planned to be a PI. That was never on my bingo card. I was planning and training to be a police officer, but planning on being a narcotic detective. Hawk says, I have 2 degrees and I'm dumb as a box of rocks. Oh, I doubt that. You guys. So yeah, I just regret I don't have my criminal justice degree, which out here they called it, depending on what school you were at, it was called either criminal justice or administration of justice. But basically on the East Coast, it was CJ, and out here on the West Coast, it was AJ. I got my credits. I've got my detective school diploma. That was actually a replacement because I lost my original one. And the agency, I guess because of my notoriety in the industry, the new owners gave me a replacement, um, you know, certificate. Now, in my next life, would I do it again? No, absolutely not. It's too hard, and I'm very good at it. But in my next life, I will go to, if I can, I will go to a school like USC and get a degree in radio, television, and film. Hey, soda. And hopefully, I will carry my entertainment business knowledge with me to the next life, including my PI knowledge. But yet, because I want to do something where I can earn royalties. And speaking of royalties, May 21st, Brenda, if you're still here, my first royalty check will be coming from YouTube, May 21st, not including the 2 small ones that I had the first time I was monetized. And I can't name them. I really wish I could because I want to thank them so much. I just want to throw my loving arms around them. But um, I have a client who's very well known in the music industry, and he's got a crap ton of royalties that come in from a TV show that's all over the world. And he's been incommunicado uh, for about a year, but he's back, and he sent me a little birthday donation. And that was his royalty money from one of the biggest TV shows in the world. And I cried and he cried. We called each other the next day and he goes, when I did that, I cried. And I'm like, you didn't need to do that. I told you, because he asked me if I owed him any money, from outstanding bills. And I'm like, no, we're good. We're fine. Like, keep your money, man. Don't send me any money. Like, we're good. Like, I spent a lot more time with him than I've ever billed for, but no, we're good. And he's like, I'm going to send you something for your birthday. I'm like, no, dude, keep your money. And then the next thing I know, there was money on the phone that came from his royalty payments, which just absolutely blew my mind. And I'm going to use that for more of the pharmacy stuff because 12 months goes by very, very fast, and then it's due again. So that's going to be put in reserve to help pay for some of that. I can't believe what's happened the last few weeks of my life. Like, even with all the bad stuff that happened with the iPad and the microphones and then the darn cell phone, there's been a lot of good that's happened too. I wish I could call them out, but I just can't. I can't mention, clients by name. I was mind blown. I even wanted to send it back to him through a digit, and he's like, no, 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 this is yours. So and I know that every single penny came from those royalties. So I was like, wow. And then right after that, that's when I found out that I was going to get my own royalty payment from YouTube. So yeah, in my next life, I would not be a PI or try to be a cop. I would not go into criminal justice, administration of justice, or PI or security work because I do a lot of security too. Although I'm not a PPO, but I've worked for PPOs. That's how I do all the army gigs on the TV shows and the private homes that I used to do. But I would definitely do radio, television, and film because there are residuals in royalties for those. So it's passive income. You can make money while you sleep, and then when you pass on, you can leave those royalties to the next generation. I would love to have residual income. So I kind of will through this, but it's not going to be much. I'm not going to have to worry about, yeah, it's going to, make me lose my disability now. I'd have to have millions and millions of views every day for that to happen. And I don't have enough views yet. I have a lot of people watching. You guys are watching me in the lives, but I just don't have the views that I need on the long form content because the CPMs and the RPMs are much, much higher on the long form content. I mean, it's still just a few dollars, but you rewatch these lives back, it's peanuts. It's more than a short, but it's peanuts. So hopefully you guys will go and check my main channel page. Go to the video tab, and there's something here for everybody, especially if you're into true crime. I have several videos on that. There's something that you guys will watch and go, oh yeah, I like that, and I can go to the playlist and I can see 20 other videos like that. That kind of stuff really helps, even if you're just playing the playlist on loop, meaning on repeat. Sorry if I used a entertainment business jargon. I'm definitely not an expert. If I was an expert, then my channel would have been successful the first time, which it wasn't. But I'm having hope this time around. We'll see what happens. But I've met so many new cool friends here, and it brought me back with my cousin. If you're still here, Brenda, great that you just happened to, out of 115 plus million active YouTubers, you just happened to, go online and there I was. Yeah, you can do teasers on shorts for either YouTube or TikTok for your long form content. Yes, you can, but you got to be really good at it. I'm not that good yet. And my biggest video that had hundreds of thousands of views, um, that was when I was monetized the first time, and I think that video got me taken down, so it's no longer. I can't even tell you what it was, but it wasn't. I didn't do anything, like illegal, and it passed all the checks. But I think that's why I got nailed. Was on that video. So now, if you look at my view count on the back end, it looks like it's like 300 or 400,000. That's because most of my views they were just deleted when I had a problem. Half Hawkman. So, what's the latest on the Nancy Guthrie thing? The latest today is nothing, but the latest this week were the ransoms, the two subsequent ransoms from the one Bitcoin guy that came into TMZ. You can watch the prior videos; you'll see all about it. There's an app that uses AI to search your long form and it creates the short for you. Yeah, but YouTube, they don't like that AI stuff. They don't like it because that's fake. It's not a real thing. You didn't go out there and make that. You didn't produce that video. And some of those channels make a ton of money. But that'll be their demise. So I will not go the AI route. Let's just pray, everybody, that Nancy is found soon. Yes, Kelly. Agreed. Thanks for still being here, Kelly. Wow, you've been here from almost the very beginning. And Brenda, if you're still here, feel free to watch the playback. This is a long one. It's been a rough 24 hours between the dentist and the iPhone blowing up. And now I got to go to the cardiologist and get the permission signed off so that I can have the next dental work. And part 3, I'm going to have to put that off for a while, part 3, because that's $1,800 at least. And I'm like, does it have to be done now? No, you can wait a little while longer. Okay. Let's just handle one problem at a time. At least today I can say that my teeth are sparkling clean. Yes, April, it is significant for you and for me. We will see what happens. I am here, and I feel your dad too. Oh, I'm glad you do. I don't really feel my dad around, but I know that my friend from Canada, my famous friend that passed, who I was super close to, I feel her around a lot, but not so much anymore. I think she finally moved on, and I'm happy for her that she's spiritually, she's wherever she is out in that great universe, and I know that I will see her again when it's time, to cross over. She'll be the one pulling me through. It's very emotional for me because we both had our birthdays. Like hers was the 28th of March, and mine is April 12th, and we always did our birthdays together. So it's kind of hard for me, but I'm gonna be distracted. I'm gonna be on YouTube with you guys, hopefully. Exactly, Sue. Dentists are expensive. We spent $7,000 on my husband's teeth this year. Yeah. I don't want to get political here, but we shouldn't have to live in a country where we go bankrupt because of an illness or a dental appointment. Well, let's pray for our astronaut safe return on Saturday. Let's pray for Nancy Guthrie. Put your loving arms, at least in your mind, around Savannah and her family. Let's pray that there's going to be an end to this soon, that there's going to be closure. I mean, I want to be able to sleep at night again. This is a tough one. There's nothing normal or typical about this case. This needs to be solved. And I'm going to end it with that. Thank you for coming. You guys, if you are available April 12th, I don't know what time I'm going to go live, but that's the big day. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure your bell icon is clicked and you hit all. And make sure on the back end of your phone in your settings that YouTube is allowed to send you your notifications. Yep, Sue, not knowing is so hard. Good night, Jay. Good night, everybody. And I love you all.